Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright. Welcome to...
Hello and welcome to another episode of RamCenter. I'm your co-host James Jackson.
And as always, I'm Spencer McKercher. James, man, how was your Thanksgiving? Good to be back.
It was good. I had some great food. You know my mom could throw it down in the kitchen. How was your Thanksgiving?
Pop is always making that go food back at home. And it was good. It was just us three, so it was
Right.
nice to hang out.
But always good to go see the family, right?
Always good, man. Especially being 2 hours away, it's always good to get back home. But it's tough. This week is tough, man. We're coming down the stretch. It's awful. It's awful. I'm so stressed out.
It's a stressful time of the year.
Hey,
but always good to be back in the RamCenter. It calms my nerves a little bit.
Exactly, because I love talking about Westchester sports.
That's right.
Man.
We were on a break, but our Westchester sports weren't. On November 25th, Westchester football's very impressive season came to an end as they lost to the third-ranked team in the country in IUP. The Crimson Hawks were very impressive from the first snap of the game all the way to the last on their way to a 44-10 victory over our Golden Rams. The opening drive was a microcosm for how the rest of the game would go, as IUP marched down the field for an 8-play, 75-yard scoring drive to open up the game. It seemed as though Westchester could do nothing wrong, as IUP could do no wrong, as they had a 30-0 lead by halftime. Westchester was only able to muster up 38 yards of total offense in that first half. And unfortunately, the final 2 quarters were just as bad as the first 2 for Westchester. A 23-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Paul Dooley to wide receiver Tyler Karpinski and a field goal later from Andrew Chegia tallied the only 2 scores for Westchester on an otherwise lackluster day. On the day, Dooley went 9 for 25 for 111 passing yards and the lone touchdown. Superstar Jarrell Elder was held quiet, finishing with just 59 yards rushing on 14 carries, while quarterback A.J. Long led the team in rushing with 71 yards on just as many carries. PSAC East Defensive Player of the Year Tyler Morrissey turned in his normal day, registering 15 tackles, 10 of them unassisted, and claimed the lead in tackles in the PSAC with 137. IUP will advance to the next round and will host Assumption College on December 2nd. And Spencer, let's not talk about the game, right? Because we know what happened. We were facing the number 3 ranked team in the country at home.
Right.
We're on the road, like in IUP.
Right.
So we knew how tough of a game was going on. Let's talk about the season as a whole, and there was nothing to be ashamed of.
Right. I mean, we saw the same team 2 weeks ago in the PSAC championship game here on our home field, and it was just as tough. That team is very, very good. Definitely nothing to hold our team's head on. We're PSAC East champs, man. We're going out as a season at that senior class, at a great senior class. Going out as PSAC East champs, nothing to hold your head on.
So what do you think was the cause of that 44-10 rout? How did it go wrong for Westchester? Where did it start to go wrong?
Their defense, man. IUP's defense is like the 4th best defense in the country. We knew that coming forward. I mean, we saw it live, dude. Their front 4 are huge. They're huge guys. They have a safety that was a player, a 5-star recruit that went to Notre Dame that got kicked off the team and now he's playing for IUP. It's tough to throw the ball against a great secondary, a tough front 4 for IUP. And IUP, man, I think they might be the favorites to go into the championship. So going forward, our boys were ready. They're just no match for a good
I think it was less about what Westchester wasn't able to do and more about what IUP is able to do as a defense, because there's not many defenses in the country that can halt Jarrell Elder to 59 yards rushing. And IUP is very one of them.
And hey, we'll hear from Jarrell very shortly, coming up soon.
Yep.
But hey, transitioning, the heartbreak has continued for the Golden Rams as our men's soccer team was eliminated in the 3rd round of the NCAA tournament by a score of 3-0 against the University of Charleston. The Golden Eagles of Charleston came into the match ranked number 1 in the country, and they showed why. Star goalkeeper Matt Palmer registered a save in the 27th minute of the match, but it seemed to be the only time Westchester was able to stop Charleston. Shortly after, the Golden Eagles registered a header in the 31st minute to grab the early lead. That momentum continued to swing on their side as another goal came only about a minute later, and Charleston found themselves with a big 2-0 advantage going into the half. It looked as though Westchester may be able to climb back into this game, but another goal from Charleston in the 73rd minute put an end to that. Charleston finished the game with a 12-3 shot advantage, helping them advance to the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament. Westchester's 14-win season marks the most successful season they've had since 2006, when they also won that same amount, 14 games. Westchester now has an all-time record of 1-3 in the NCAA tournament after the loss. Dude, another just crushing loss after a great fall season of sports. But nothing to hold our heads on. The most wins since 2006. We had Matt Palmer, who registered the most career wins, I think, as a goalkeeper in Westchester history.
And most career clean sheets.
Crazy, man. So definitely nothing to go our head on. And I think we had 3 or 4 players in the PSAC in the all-region team. So again, nothing to hold our head on.
Yeah, and our football team went and visited the number 3 ranked team in the country. Our soccer team went and visited the number 1 ranked team in the country.
Exactly.
So it's just, I don't know how these drawings are happening. We win the PSAC East or the PSAC regular season title, have a great showing in the tournament, get knocked out in the PSAC tournament, but then have a great rally. We saw them play IUP and win in double OT with that great Brett Glasgow goal. So it's just
amazing.
It was an amazing season, nothing to hang their heads on. We talked to Michael Ben, the head coach, a couple times in the season.
A bunch of times.
And he said that what he was most worried about is finding their scoring boots, and they found it. Defense was never the problem with this team.
Especially with Palmer.
Exactly, and it was just scoring. And if a team could blank Westchester, they had a great advantage, and that was IUP.
Exactly, and I talked to Andrew Slater, our midfielder, and he said, man, just nothing, just during that game. They're overmatched, again, just overmatched, and the number 1 team in the country showed why they deserve to be the number 1 team in the country. So
it's a tough day for our Rams, but we'll bounce back soon.
Absolutely.
Now Tyler Jefferson is standing by with PSAC East Offensive Player of the Year, Jarrell Elder. Take it away, Ty.
What's up, Rams? Tyler Jefferson here, back in the studio. I hope you guys had a good break. I know I did. Today I have with me Jarrell Elder, senior running back of our football team. What's up, man? How you feeling today?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Did you enjoy your break?
Yeah, of course. Always good to be with the family.
For sure. I can't wait to get back for winter break, though. We usually start these interviews telling me and those watching some basic information about yourself, where you come from, what you studied in school, and why you chose to come to Westchester.
I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania. I went to Parkland High School. I'm studying biology, and chose Westchester because I visited and I just loved it. I knew the tradition here, playing football. Everybody, seasons were good and coaches were great, and every player that I met had the same attitude.
Right, it's definitely a great school, great program for athletics. Senior season is over. Unfortunately, you guys came up short in the PSAC championship and second round of the NCAA tournament. How do you feel about this past season, and did you expect to accomplish the things you guys accomplished? And also, what are some things you would take with you as you move forward?
We always want to go far. So we reached our first goal, which was winning the PSAC East.
Definitely.
Came up short winning the PSAC championship, and obviously wanted to go further. But you got to be happy with everything that this whole senior class has been through, between injuries with everybody, or just the grind of staying here for 5 years for all of us.
Right, injuries were.
Yeah, big
issue.
Right.
You guys still held your ground this season.
Yeah,
got some quality wins against quality teams.
For sure.
Like you said, you've been here for 5 years. It's a long time. Reflect on your time here, and what are some things you miss about being on the field?
Just being on the field, period. I'm definitely going to miss everybody.
Right.
You miss those little things. You think you hate coming out to practice until you're out there.
Then you look back and you just wish, I just miss it. The locker room, traveling.
Exactly.
It's definitely sports is definitely a great, great experience. What are some things you miss about Westchester in general, the school, the town, area?
Since I turned 21, the town. That's pretty much it. It's a chapter in my life that I'll never forget. But there's a bunch of memories that I'll hold on dear to. But it's time to move on.
Time to move on, build new memories.
Right.
So I know you have a little brother go here, Jarrell Elder. He's a sophomore defensive back. What does it mean to not only go to school with your younger sibling, but to also share the field with him?
It's amazing because we did it in high school, and I never thought that we would have been able to do it again. He's a little bigger. Yeah, so I thought he was going to go to one of the bigger D1 schools that was recruiting him. But things ended up falling through with his grades, and he ended up coming here. And just to go out there and watch him grow, and obviously on the field, but off the field as well. He's matured. We both matured a lot, and just to watch his progression from being good high school or great high school player to eventually becoming this great college player that he's becoming. It's great to watch.
Definitely. I know your family is very proud to come out and support both of you guys.
Yeah, especially at the same time.
At the same time, it's a good thing you're not going against each other.
Right.
You know, as an older brother, I know he looks up to you as, you know, inspiration, a role model. What are some things you try to show him on and off the field?
On the field, I mean, I guess both. It's just leadership. You can't let your emotions get to you, especially on the field. It's a long game. It's a long process. And it's an entire learning process. I was talking to him earlier in the season, a couple weeks ago, that I was nowhere near the player that I was today. And I can guarantee if I played another 5 years, I wouldn't even notice the player that I am right now. So you just got to take the experience that you get and learn from it.
Learn from it, better yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm sure he's a great person just like you.
Yeah.
5 years here, as you and I mentioned before, time is coming to an end. Are you feeling that sign of relief? Did it kick in yet that you're about to be out of here?
Nah. I don't know if it's relief, depression. I don't know what it is. It's a mix for sure. But like I said, it's been a great 5 years, but it's definitely more in the future.
Definitely. Speaking of the future, what do you plan to? You know, what is the next step for you as you graduate?
Med school.
Med school.
Take a year off and then work as a medical scribe, and then the following year end up applying for med school, and hopefully everything works out there.
Jarrell, man, I wish you the best of luck in the future.
Yeah.
And once again, I thank you for coming out. Great interview. And it was one I was really looking forward to. You know, great questions, great answers. Like I said, I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming out.
Of course.
Rams, that's all the time we have for today. This is Tyler Jefferson. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I'll see you all next week.
Great job, Tyler, and interviewed a great guy, Jarrell Underman. I got to know him this year coming out. I mean, just interviewing after every game, man. He's a great kid and a great interview, man. So I'm proud of you, Tyler. You killed it. But hey, now switching over to our women's soccer team. A closer score, but the same outcome came out for our women's soccer team as they fell in PKs to Mercy College on November 19th. Mercy broke through just 6 minutes into the game when a header was converted into the back of the net. Westchester then amped up the pressure, but the score remained 1-0 in favor of Mercy heading into the halftime break. The second half was highly contested and scoreless until the 82nd minute when senior Caitlin McNamara converted a PK and tied the match at 1-1. In overtime, both sides had their chances, but defense came up huge and stifled the offense on both sides, sending the match into that ugly penalty kicks, where Mercy was able to edge the Lady Rams 4-3. McKenna McMullen had a great day in net, facing 14 total shots and registering 4 great saves to keep Westchester in it. Mercy ultimately outshot Westchester 14-11 throughout the match. This was the Lady Rams' first Elite Eight appearance since 2014 when they fell to the College of St. Rose 2-0. Man, my dude, just a sad episode all around, but hey, again, nothing to hold our heads on, man. Our Westchester women's soccer, again, coming off an undefeated season last year. We had the heartbreak in the PSAC, and then in the early rounds, we made it all the way to the Elite Eight this year, going against a very tough Mercy College. Very tough, man. What do you think?
Well, very seldom in this season did the Lady Rams soccer team have to play from behind, and they got in a hole very early. 8 minutes into the game,
8 minutes.
they were scored on, and that was something they weren't used to, having to play on their heels and try to have to battle back. But they were able to do it.
It was awesome.
They stopped the defense, and then for the last 90 minutes of the game, or 86 minutes of the game, they didn't have a goal let up on them until PKs.
Exactly.
So their defense, did kick it into high gear after that. It's just offense where it wasn't able to get it going.
Unable, and I know Mercy's defense, fantastic defense, and that's the thing. And it seems like our PKs through men's and women's down the stretch, especially in the PSAC, and just not good luck with these PKs. But hey, again, still really proud of our Lady Rams going forward. Coach Betty Ann Camp said she was exactly what she wanted. Just wanted to get that Final Four berth, but still really happy for her women.
Nothing. Ram excellence still. The way I look at it. The way I look at it.
Elite Eight. We're the best 8 teams in the country. Not even in the PSAC anymore. The country. All top of the hat to our women's soccer team.
Very proud.
Now we're going to send it over to Joss with pro sports and a little bit of a college sports in her segment.
Hey Rams, Jocelyn Baker here with your weekly pro sports update. Hope everyone had a great break with friends, family, and of course, football. Week 12 of the NFL season began with Thursday's Thanksgiving match between the Dallas Cowboys and the LA Chargers. The holiday game started off incredibly slow with no points from either team until Chargers' Nick Novak scored a field goal as the half ended. Phillip Rivers took advantage of the lead, throwing 2 touchdown passes in the third. Dallas put in their best effort to come back, but it wouldn't be enough as the Chargers beat the home team 28-6. The Philadelphia Eagles are unstoppable as they crushed the Chicago Bears this past Sunday in the city of brotherly love. Carson Wentz helped the Eagles win their 9th straight victory with 3 touchdown passes. He is just 5 short of setting a single-season team record. The Bears' defensive effort was not nearly as strong as the Eagles' offense, resulting in a Windy City upset, a score of 31-3. Later in the night, the LA Rams hosted the New Orleans Saints in the NFC duel. The Rams would prove that they would come out on top with their home field advantage in this pivotal match. Within the first minutes of the game, LA took control of the ball with a touchdown pass from Jared Goff. New Orleans would catch up the entire game, but would fall short, losing their 8-game winning streak to the Rams 26-20. What a wild weekend for the college football as the top 2 teams crumbled during their last games of the regular season. Number 1 seed Alabama played against number 6 Auburn in the Iron Bowl Saturday, a highly anticipated rivalry game. Auburn was on the prowl for a victory, scoring the first points of the match, and this was only the beginning. Auburn dominated, taking control of the SEC title and leaving Alabama in the dust, a final score of 26-14. This was just one of the shocking games of the weekend. Up north, the number 2 seed, Miami, would crash and burn against the unranked University of Pittsburgh. The Hurricanes must have taken a snooze after leading in the second quarter, but Pitt regained the lead and never looked back, leaving Miami fearful for a bid to the NCAA playoffs. In the AAC matchup down in Florida, UCF clinched their perfect regular season to USF Friday. Both schools came with the intention to win as they fought from start to finish. The Bulls tied up the game in the fourth quarter, but the Knights were victorious, scoring in the last minutes, winning 49-42. This coming weekend is the NCAA Conference Championship, which will determine who makes the playoffs. That's all for this week in pro sports. I'm Jocelyn Baker. Now over to Reggie with This Day in Sports.
What's up, Rams? Reggie Dudley here for This Day in Sports. On this day in 1893, the very first Iron Bowl between Auburn University and the University of Alabama was played in Birmingham, Alabama. The Tigers ousted the Crimson Tide 32-22, which started one of the great college football traditions of all time. And let's not forget, 4 years ago, the famous Kick 6 happened as Auburn stunned Alabama on a last-second field goal, returned for a touchdown. Also on this day in 1952, Brooklyn Dodger Jackie Robinson charged the New York Yankees with racism for their failure to bring up a black player. Although the Yankee executives denied the allegations, this was a major step in getting equal rights in Major League Baseball. For This Day in Sports, I'm Reggie Dudley. Now over to Tyler for Top Plays.
What's up, Rams? This is Tyler Jefferson, and this is our top plays of the week. At number 5, we have Sixers forward Dario Saric as he dishes a beautiful no-look pass to teammate Robert Covington. Saric will go beyond his back for the assist as Covington lays it in. At number 4, we have Eagles running back LeGarrette Blount as he ran through the hole and hurdled over a Bears defender on his way to a 22-yard gain as he picked up the first down and more. Number 3 features the Indiana Pacers executing a fast break full of excitement. It started with guard Victor Oladipo, and after 6 total passes, it ended with center Domantas Sabonis laying it in. At number 2, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown completes an unbelievable catch. It was a perfect pass by Ben Roethlisberger as Antonio Brown kept his feet in bounds. This play will set the Steelers up in a perfect position to win the game against the Green Bay Packers. And our top player of the week features Josie Altidore as he delivered a huge goal for the Toronto Football Club in the 60th minute in a semifinal game against Columbus Crew Soccer Club. Toronto will move on to host the MLS Cup as the Eastern Conference champions. This completes our top plays of the week. James and Spencer, back to you.
That's all for this episode of RamCenter. Make sure to follow us on our Twitter and our Instagram pages at WCU RamCenter. And remember to smack that like button on our Facebook page. As always, I'm your co-host, Spencer McKercher.
That smack never gets old, let me tell you. And I'm James Jackson. Stay Golden Dub C. We will see you all again here next week.
Welcome to